This is just a short video showing how we download and use the Agon emulator. I'm doing it on Linux, but it's similar for other distributions. I'm actually running Linux Debian with the KDE Plasma distro. Right, let's get started. If you go to this web page, which I'll link in the description below, this is Tom's emulator, and he goes through how to compile it from source here for Linux and for Windows, but he's started to release pre-built binaries. So if you go to releases over here, and then just pick, obviously I'm on Linux, so I'm going to pick this package, and I've already got it downloaded, but we'll download again. And then we go to that, and let me just move that to the waste paper bin, move that to waste paper bin. So basically I'll have this downloaded here, extract that to the same folder. Now I always rename this, obviously you don't have to, but I actually run this on several machines and I like just to keep everything the same. So I just do that. So it's fab-agon-emulator, and if you copy that, and then what I do is I make a folder on my desktop. Where are we? Create new folder. We'll call this one Agon 1. Okay, this is my normal one, and this is my shortcut to open it. So open that folder up, paste in the Agon Light folder, and if you look in here, there's the binary, the actual emulator itself. Here's the SD card. So what I do is, inside the SD card, is if I'm updating to the new version of the emulator or anything like that, I'll just come into here and I keep everything on my SD card in a folder called B. This is all my work, and it doesn't interfere with any of the others like the MOS directory or anything like that that may have been updated. You know, these binaries in the MOS folder could have been updated since I last did it, so I don't want to copy them over. So I've just got this one, I copy that over, place one folder, and now I've got B on here. If you look in here, this is just all my code, and it's as simple as that. So now we've done that, as you can see, if we go into here, right click this and go to properties, and just make sure that in permissions we have that it's executable. It should be, because I think that's how it comes packaged, but just make sure that's executable. And then in theory, if we right click it, and we run in the terminal, which on this distribution it's called konsole, there you are. We've got the emulator. It auto loads to basic, as you can see. So probably do that first, just make sure that your emulator works and runs and everything's okay, and then you can close that down. So now we have, in this folder, we've got the emulator. The only other thing I wanted to show you was how I do mine so that I've got a shortcut on my desktop. So if you make a new text file, okay, open that with your text editor. Okay, I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to open this with my text editor as well. So I'll copy what's inside here, and you can copy it too. If I just run through it, or actually I'll copy it over first. Go over here, yeah. So line 1, paste. Now what you must do is make sure that this starts at the beginning, otherwise you get an error. For some reason, when you copy and paste it, it puts a space in there, or it does for me, so just be aware of that. And what we've got, let's save that, is this makes it a bash file basically, and so just put that bit of code in. And then this is where we cd into that directory. So I want to go to Agon 1 here, because obviously that is my folder here. So it's home Steve desktop Agon 1 is this folder. Then we've got a folder inside that because I changed the name to fab-agon-emulator. So fab-agon-emulator. That basically puts like the terminal within that directory. Then we open the terminal with and konsole. I'm using konsole. You might be using terminal or LX terminal or whatever. Obviously, you'll need to change that for whichever terminal you use, whichever terminal emulator you're using on your distribution. Then -E. Let me just make that bigger so it's clearer. -E, then another space, and then this here, this just runs this file. So if you look in here, this is the name of the file to be run. So ./fab-agon-emulator should start that. So once you've got that in that file, save it, obviously. And then what we've got to do is rename this file. We'll call it Agon 1 with a small a, because Linux is case sensitive, so this is a different to that. And then we need to do two things with this. One, we need to get rid of the file extension. So if we go to rename, or while you're doing the rename, just delete the file extension. So it's Agon 1. And that will make it into an executable file. But then you need to right click, go down to properties, go to permissions, and click is executable. It must be executable for it to obviously execute. And then we press OK. So now in theory, if I double click this, there we are. Starts up the Agon emulator. Now what I always have, and I'm probably going to do a different video for this, but I always use, let's get some of these closed. I always use this basic header, which is some of my code, and this auto script. So if I copy those over, and we want to place them on the root of the SD card, so into the SD card, that file's already here, but don't worry, we'll just overwrite that. So paste two files, there we go, overwrite. Now we've got these, so I'll run through this one first, the auto exec. This is auto executed, as its name mentions, auto executed on startup. So whatever's in here will run when you first start up your Agon. And this is the same for the emulator and for the real deal. So here I'm doing set keyboard 0, which is the UK keyboard. Just be aware of that. If you're not in the UK and you want a different keyboard, you'll have to put a different number in here. I don't know all of them. I just know that 0 means that it's UK. And then this is the same as what this file comes with from Tom's website. It loads bbcbasic.bin. I think. Yeah, bbcbasic.bin. As long as that file's on the root of your SD card as well, which it comes with, it'll auto load basic. If you don't want to go to basic and you want to stop in the machine's operating system, MOS, just delete that line and it will not load BBC Basic. But then these won't work either because this is a basic program. So that runs what it's loaded. So that runs this, and then we do another command, which is space dot space / basic header.bas, and that's this basic header file. Now all that does is that gives us a nice looking header file with some information on it when we start up the emulator. Like I say, I will do another tutorial just running through my code here, but that's not for today. So now we've got those in there on the root of the SD card where we put the B folder. Now when we start it, it asks me for a mode. Let's say we go mode 8. And there you are. We are in the emulator. and it's all working. Hope that helps.